Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the concept of Ashtlakshmi Yoga in Vedic astrology. So now friends, in order to explain this alignment, I will also include certain principles of Vastu sciences as well. And like the way I always share the source for the idea for the video. So just because when I uploaded this video on the transit of Venus, where as a remedy for certain rising signs, I advise to recite Shri Suktam, Ashtlakshmi Stotram and Kanakdhara Stotram. So a lot many people ask me that what kind of mantras do you recite on daily basis, which an individual should include as a part of their spiritual practice, or what is the significance of Ashtlakshmi. So that is the only reason I thought about talking on this topic, and most likely you will be getting this video on a Friday only. So now friends, talking first about the kind of chants and mantras which I can recommend someone. So definitely friends, first of all, it becomes very important that whichsoever planets dasha or time period you guys are going through, so you have to do the Bij mantra recitation of that planet. So like for example, in my case, not only I'm going through the Saturn Mahadasha, but also I'm going through Saturn Sadesati as well. So I ensure, apart from keeping fast on Saturdays, I also ensure to do a complete mala of the Bij mantra of the planet Saturn. Now second mantra which I want to recommend to people is that if in transit any planet is making you vulnerable, so in my case, if I were to say, just because Rahu right now is transiting over my first house, which could be an alarming sign for my health related concerns as well, so I ensure to do a mala of the Bij mantra of Rahu as well. Now friends, after that it all comes down to your own personal choices, because I know basis all of our lifestyle choices, our family like duties and responsibilities, professional running and around, so it is not be possible for everyone to dedicate or devote that much time. But I would say that you should be doing at least a chant or a mantra devoted to your Isht Devta. So apart from the chant which I do for my Isht Devta, I also ensure to do Hanuman Chalisa daily, and the mantra on which we are going to be having our discussion is going to be on the Shri Suktam, like Ashtlakshmi Yoga. So Shri Suktam is also a very important chant which you should think about including it as a part of your daily mantra or chanting practices. And friends, like when we talk about the Vastu recommendation and all of that, so generally it is always considered as very good that at the time when whomsoever is responsible for your kitchen and cooking at your home, so you should be taking out first chapati for the cow, like because if you are living in India, so that is very much feasible. That is the kind of practice which my mother has been following from so many years. Like I have grown up seeing one chapati, like mom taking out one chapati, first chapati for the cow, which like if mom cannot go out and feed it to the cow, so my dad, it will be my dad's duty, or sometimes she used to ask me while going to school, just feed this to the cow. So first chapati has to be taken out for the cow, and the last chapati before winding up should be taken out for the dog. So these are the general few practices friends which you have to make it as a part of your lifestyle. So now friends, talking about this yoga, like the Ashtlakshmi Yoga. So now friends, when we talk about the Ashtlakshmi Yoga, so definitely Lakshmi, which is the goddess of wealth. Now whether you accept it or not, that you might be saying this thing that I'm a very spiritually oriented person, I'm not a very material driven person, and I'm not very much inclined towards amassing lot many wealth. But trust me, once you will get to know all 8 forms of wealth which goddess Lakshmi preside over, you get to know the importance of this Ashtlakshmi Yoga. I would say that whomsoever is going to be blessed in all these 8 areas or 8-fold variation of Ma Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi, that person can be seen as blessed in this lifetime. So the first form is the Adi Lakshmi. Now when I say Adi Lakshmi, so it means a form of Lakshmi where a native is blessed with the generational wealth. Now this wealth can be seen or can be decoded in so many ways. Now you can relate it that someone who is born in a very virtuous family, a family which has got a lot of reputation, and even when we talk about from wealth perspective, so your family name and the wealth is getting passed on from one generation to another generation. And it's not only from the wealth perspective, but also your physical feature, the state of your health, everything is in a immaculate state. So this can be seen as, or this can be decoded as, in your family there is the blessings of this form of Goddess Lakshmi, which is the Adi Lakshmi. Now friends, in Vastu we relate or we connect Adi Lakshmi with the south direction. So let's say for example, if you already belong to a very wealthy family and you want your wealth to stay intact. Now this could be wealth in the form of you belong from a very high priest class and there is a form of some spiritual domination which you hold in your community, or this could be in the form of wealth, in the form of political position or power. So whatsoever is getting qualified in your case, so you have to ensure that if you can hang a photo of the like Adi Lakshmi in the southern direction in your home, or just giving attention towards the Vastu of the south direction at your residing place. And also friends, like if I were to relate it or connect it with astrology, so I would say that definitely if you have to see something pertaining to the generational wealth, being born in a very virtuous family where just because of your birthright you remain lucky in acquiring everything. So I would say definitely someone's like rising sign has to be without any affliction, moon has to be without any affliction, and moreover we have to give attention towards the second house, which in a way tells about your traditional, your values and everything. So there couldn't be any better sign than the placement of the benefic planets, or specifically the placement of Venus in any individual second house. So this is how you can correlate astrology, Vastu with the form of Goddess Lakshmi's Adi Lakshmi Roop or the form. Now friends, comes the second, which is the Dhan Lakshmi. Dhan is a Hindi word which could be translated as the wealth. So now friends, definitely here we are talking about from the perspective of the more financial opportunities. So from the Vastu perspective, you can connect this form of Goddess Lakshmi with the northern direction, so which in Vastu is also connected with Kuber as well, the god of wealth. So because of which friends, like let's say for example, if you are in that nature of business where you want to remain lucky in the form of getting more and more financial opportunities and growing and rising on your financial graph, so I would say that giving attention towards this direction, north direction, the Vastu of the north direction, and also friends I would say that hanging a picture or photo of the Dhan Lakshmi Swaroop of Goddess Lakshmi can be seen as a good way of inviting or attracting lot many opportunities in your business or in your line of work. Now friends, if you actually want to relate or connect this form of Goddess Lakshmi with astrology, so definitely friends, here you have to see the placement and condition of your second house and the fourth house. So let's say for example, all the financial houses, like if you will find benefic planets to be placed in the second house of your income, or 11th house of opportunities, or 4th house of comforts and conveniences, like benefic planets, specifically Venus or Mercury, that can be seen as a very good sign that you can get benefited in the form of receiving the grace from the Dhan Lakshmi, the wealth giving form of the goddess of wealth, Goddess Lakshmi. Now friends, comes the third form, which is known as the Dhanya Lakshmi. Now friends, Dhanya Lakshmi is a very important form of goddess which tells about the nourishment in the form of grain, agriculture, and receiving the right set of food basis your requirement. Now friends, first of all, connecting it with Vastu, so this is the direction which is connected with the southeast direction, the Agni Kona, which is also connected with the planet Venus in Vastu. So now friends, Dhanya Lakshmi becomes very important that if you are in a nature of work or business where we talk about that you have your own restaurant, you work in any, or you have a business of fruits, vegetables, or these days we have cut fruit delivery, ready fresh fruit delivery option, so many options. So if you are in that business, whether you are a small time street vendor or you are a big time restaurant owner, so in whichever way, this form of goddess, which is the Dhanya Lakshmi, her grace becomes very important in your case, in your life. So definitely you have to give attention towards the southeast direction Vastu of your place of residence, or this could be your office as well, the place from where you do your major business transaction. Now friends, like the way, it's not only that Dhanya Lakshmi is only connected with people who are in the agriculture, farming or food restaurant industry. Trust me friends, like that is the only reason we say that when you ask or pray for wealth or just the Lakshmi or the grace of the goddess, you should be praying for the eightfold Ashtlakshmi grace in your life. Imagine that state that you have all the money, you can buy all the food, but just because you have got high sugar, high diabetes, or there are some physical diseases or ailments, that irrespective of having all those amenities in front of you, you cannot enjoy that. So because of which we need the grace of Dhanya Lakshmi in our life in order to enjoy all these benefits of the grains, food and enjoyment on the account of the nourishment from the food. Now friends, next form of the, and definitely friends, if you want to understand the yoga and connect it with astrology, so I would say that second house in a way is a very important house for the eating habits. And I've seen lot many restaurateur with the strong major influence coming in from the sixth house. Now this could be because this is the house of the service industry. So if you have benefic planets, or your second house lord or sixth house lord is in a strong dignity, and some support coming in from the fourth house as well, so you can be very good farmer, you can be very good baker, or you can have good income from agriculture interest and all of that. Now friends, next form of goddess Lakshmi is the Gaja Lakshmi. So as you can see over here in the poster behind me as well. So friends, this form of goddess Lakshmi becomes very important in today's day and age, where the definition of luxury comes down to or get attached to all form of luxury cars. So like whether you are driving a normal Toyota, or you're driving a Mercedes or a BMW or an Audi, or you have a fleet of cars, you are so wealthy, or this could be that your business is around this like dealings, like you deal in the sale purchase of cars, you have a car showroom. And these days friends, like when we talk about luxury, there is no definition, there is no limit to that. There must be all those people who have their own yachts, or they have their own, these days people have their own private planes as well, all the celebrities and all of that. So if you are in that stature, in that stage of the life where you can afford all these things easily, trust me, then the grace of the Gaja Lakshmi, goddess Gaja Lakshmi, is there in your life. Now friends, like trust me, I still remember this incident, because the way planet influences our lives, you can also see in someone's personality, in someone's taste and lifestyle choices as well. So I still remember there was this job where I was engaged initially when I just landed in Canada, and you need to do some initial jobs and menial jobs, part-time jobs to support yourself. So there was this lady over there, and obviously we all know that the kind of money or hourly wage we are getting, but she used to come to work in a very luxurious car, and which was like very surprising to me. And and she had a lot of interest in cars, and she's always talking about that only luxury and all of that. And one very distinctive thing which I noticed, the way she used to walk. Because friends, obviously, like I came to astrology at a very later stage. I initially started with palmistry, and palmistry is a part of the Samudrik Shastra. So where, like, trust me, there are so many ocean of wisdom and knowledge in our scriptures, where basis the marks you have in your body. I still remember when I was going through this course at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, so there was this astrologer who came close to me and he looked at my forehead. He saw this mark. Oh, so are you a Mars Lagna, or do you have Rahu in your first house? I was like, whoa. So yeah, so the way she used to walk, she used to walk like there is a term in Hindi we call as Gajgamini walk, like a walking like a elephant. So now that's not a derogatory term I'm saying. I mean to say, the way she used to walk, you can see that form of Goddess Lakshmi in her case, in her personality, in her lifestyle choices. So we can say that the grace of the Goddess Gaja Lakshmi was there in her life. So definitely friends, if you want to connect it with Vastu, so the direction connected with the Gaja Lakshmi is the west direction, which is the direction of profits and gains. So it becomes very important for you to give attention towards the Vastu of this direction, specifically if you are engaged in business pertaining to vehicles, luxury goods, high-end luxury goods and all of that. And friends, if I were to talk about the luxury quotient perspective, so definitely friends, like your fourth house has to be given utmost attention over here. So let's say for example, if your moon is placed over here exalted or being placed in its own sign, Jupiter is exalted, or Venus is placed in the fourth house where it also gets the directional strength, or in the second house, 11th house, and overall chart is contributing towards that, then this will definitely give rise to this very good Gaja Lakshmi Yoga in someone's case. Now friends, moving ahead, now I would say one of the very important form of the Goddess Lakshmi is the Santana Lakshmi as well. So which can be translated in English as Santan is your children or the progeny. So now friends, Santana Lakshmi becomes very important because you have to understand this thing that in today's day and age, the best wealth you can have is, this could be either having a right set of mindset, positive thought process, and a very obedient progeny. So if you have got blessed with lot many progenies, very obedient progenies, like children who are bringing name, fame, glory to your family name, then we can say that the grace of the Santana Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi in the form of the Santana Lakshmi is there in your life. Now friends, whether you have a family and you have your children, then also, and also friends, because in a way we see progeny from the 5th house, and all sort of creativity is also seen from the 5th house as well. So someone who is single, he does not have any what do you call that, a family or biological children and all of that, but he is a teacher, he is a trainer, and he impart all of his knowledge considering his students as his children, and because of his knowledge and wisdom, lot many people's lives are getting changed or getting benefited. So that can also be seen as the grace of the Santana Lakshmi in the life of the native. So now friends, for this form of the Goddess Lakshmi, we generally attach the northeast direction. So the Ishan Kon, it becomes very important that the Vastu of your northeast direction has to be without any affliction. It has to be completely immaculate. And definitely friends, when we talk about from the yoga perspective, so you have to give rise to, or you have to give attention towards the 5th house of the natal chart, or 5th house of the D9 chart, 5th house of the Saptayamsha chart, and if you will find benefic planets being placed over there. Now friends, in the original Kalpurush Kundli, 5th house belongs to the planet Sun. So if you will find Sun to be exalted, 5th house Lord to be in a good dignity, and Jupiter aspecting the 5th house, being placed in the 5th house, like Jupiter can influence 5th houses in so many ways. Either it is placed in the 5th house, even if it is placed in the trine like 9th house or 1st house, so it is going to be aspecting the 5th house. So that can be seen as a very good sign that you will be blessed with a very supporting, very obedient progeny. And like the way we say this thing friends, there is a famous Hindi quote that if you do not have to save anything for either a very obedient or very disobedient progeny, because if you will be blessed with a very obedient, very prodigious child, no matter whether you have saved something or not, the child is gonna get everything on his own capabilities. And if a child which you have got and the child has got all the wrong qualities, evil qualities, so no matter how much inheritance you're gonna pass it to your child, he's gonna waste away everything. So it all comes down to see and receive the grace of the goddess Santana Lakshmi to derive happiness on the account of your children. Now friends, the next form of the goddess Lakshmi is the Dhairya Lakshmi. So now friends, Dhairya Lakshmi becomes very important. First of all, the name Dhairya in itself can be understood as patience, forbearance, perseverance. So from the Vastu perspective, we generally attach the southwest direction, the Nairitya Kon direction, with this form of the goddess Lakshmi. Now this becomes very important, that no matter if you will find the grace of Dhairya Lakshmi in someone's life, so no matter how much hardship this person is gonna face in the matters of his finances, no matter how many fluctuation, windfall, gain or losses this native is gonna incur in his financial dealing, he will have this capacity, he will have this supporting blessing and grace from the Dhairya Lakshmi, which is gonna help this guy to bring back or come back on his feet again, rather come back with flying colors. So that kind of fighting spirit, that kind of fortitude you can only attach with the grace of Dhairya Lakshmi, specifically pertaining to the matters of your financial dealings. Like the way friends, when we talk about the people who are engaged in film business, producers, people who deal in stock market, who have to go through and where there is a lot of uncertainty attached. So over there friends, you need to have the grace of the Dhairya Lakshmi. Or let's say for example, if you have witnessed any person, any business person who has faced these kind of severe financial fluctuation, but then also he came back on his feet with flying colors, so trust me, you can conclude that the grace of the Dhairya Lakshmi is there in the life of this person. And definitely friends, for this kind of fortitude, you need the support and you need a very strong, I would say, the Dushtana Bhava, like specifically the houses which are gonna give you fighting spirit. And over and above that, a very well supported 9th house can be seen as a very good sign, like the exits of the 3rd house and the 9th house. 3rd house is the house of your courage, of your valor. 9th house is the house of the divine support. So any of the benefic planetary presence being placed over there, individually Venus to be unafflicted, well placed, we can say that this native is definitely going to have a fighting spirit in the matters of the finances. And definitely goddess Lakshmi in the form of the Dhairya Lakshmi is definitely helping and supporting or protecting this native. So now friends, the next form of the eightfold goddess Lakshmi is the Vijaya Lakshmi. Now Vijaya, the word could be translated as the victorious. So now friends, this form of the goddess Lakshmi becomes very important, specifically for all those people who have to work in highly competitive environment, like you are a politician or you are a very rich businessman who has to all the time compete for government tenders, or you have to compete with the fellow businessman and all of that. So if you are operating in that capacity, so trust me, the blessings and the grace of the Vijaya Lakshmi is definitely helping you progress in your line of work. So now friends, if you want to attach this yoga with astrology, so definitely you need to have strong planets specifically in your 3rd house, 6th house and 11th house in order to prosper in any sort of highly competitive environment and enjoy the grace of the goddess Lakshmi in the form of the Vijaya Lakshmi. Now definitely friends, from over here, if you will find Mars or Rahu to be well placed, dignified in the 3rd house or the 6th house, and benefic planets like Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Moon to be placed in your 11th house, then this can be seen as a very good sign that the blessings and the grace of the Vijaya Lakshmi is helping you in your nature of work. And friends, the last and the most important form of the eightfold goddess Lakshmi is the Vidya Lakshmi. Now Vidya, which could be translated in English as the wisdom, the kind of intellect you hold. So trust me friends, this becomes equally important for all of us. Like if you actually want to see the best blessing in someone's life or in someone's chart, look at the 5th house and the planetary influence or presence over there, because if you will find benefit planets to be influencing 5th house, this native is gonna have very good, very positive, very auspicious thought process, which becomes very important. And also friends, like here we are talking about the Vidya Lakshmi. So this form of the goddess Lakshmi is connected with the east direction as per the Vastu. So east is the direction which is the direction of our social interactions, like our social influence. So if you actually want to remain lucky in the form of doing good with your studies or having some very prestigious degrees and all of that, like this could be the blessings of the goddess Lakshmi in the form of the Vidya Lakshmi, but also the blessings coming in from the goddess Saraswati as well. So now friends, trust me, this form of the goddess becomes equally important, like whether you are a student, you are an artist, you are a trainer, or in any form, like where you have to sail through the life with taking righteous, virtuous, good set of decision. So because of which if I were to attach it with the yoga in Vedic astrology, then I would say friends that your 1st house, your 5th house needs to be in a strong dignity. So benefit planets being placed over there in your 1st house, in your 5th house, and moon to be without any affliction coming in from the planet Saturn or the planet Rahu, then we can say that this native is receiving the blessings and grace of the goddess Lakshmi in the form of the Vidya Lakshmi. And definitely friends, if you have already proven your mettle, if you have passed your like school, your graduation, post graduation with the best of the degrees and qualification, or we cannot even restrict it only from the degree perspective or college, university degrees perspective, like whatsoever field you are engaged or you are working in, you are considered as an expert in your chosen field, then we can definitely say that the blessings of the Vidya Lakshmi is helping you or nurturing you, supporting you in your life. Now friends, combining everything, like there has been mentioned in the classical text as well, where like our ancient sages, they have said this thing that in order for the complete grace of Ashtlakshmi to be coming in an individual's life, you can see or you have to see the placement of Rahu and Jupiter in the chart. Now you must be getting surprised that how come the most malefic planet can be seen for this sort of very auspicious yoga. So friends, you cannot even overlook this fact that at the end of the day, in today's material world, we need to have the well dignified, well supported Rahu in order to do good on a material plane. Now friends, the core principle of Rahu is not about cheating or doing something wrong or bad to someone. Definitely Rahu do not want you to be very naive, and Rahu also do not want you to be kind of scamming people. Rahu just wants you to be clever, smart, innovative, and out of the box thinker. So trust me friends, the yoga which has been explained in the classical text is that if you will find Rahu to be placed in a dignified signs in the 6th house, so definitely Rahu gains strength in the signs of the like Saturn, Mercury, or Venus. So if you will find Rahu to be placed in these signs, in these planetary signs in the 6th house, and Jupiter to be placed in the angular houses like Kendra Bhava, like 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house, then this will give rise to the Ashtlakshmi Yoga, or the blessings of the goddess Lakshmi, 8-fold form of goddess Lakshmi in your life. Now definitely here we are talking about the goddess of wealth. So apart from looking at the placement of Rahu in the 6th house and Jupiter to be placed in angular houses, you have to also see individually the placement and dignity of Venus as well, because if everything is falling in line, so trust me, the blessings of the goddess Lakshmi is going to be there in your life. So friends, next time onwards, when you will be praying for wealth to goddess Lakshmi, so do not only invoke or propitiate or pray for individually goddess Lakshmi, pray her and ask for her blessings in all of her 8-fold forms in your life. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.